Welcome to Journey with Josh. I'm Josh Ubaldi, and we're taking you on a journey of a lifetime into marketing and advertising. Together, we'll solve every mystery about marketing you've ever come across so you can get all the leads and sales you want, and best of all, how to grow a business you truly love. Welcome back to Marketing Therapist, part of Journey with Josh. I am Josh Ubaldi, your marketing therapist for the day, moving you past obstacles and giving you more momentum. And today we are answering more of your fantastic questions. I have been really impressed actually with the questions and the quality of the questions, and even sometimes the challenge that's built into these questions. And I'm really glad that you are inviting me into sharing some of this experience more than anything else with you. So without further ado, let's dive into today's 3 questions. So we're going to start with Laura. Laura, thank you for your question here. This is from Laura. How does ROI for ads really work? Is there a better way than just spending money to make money? Okay, great question. The second part of this question deserves its own little section. So we're going to come back to part 2. Let's reiterate part 1 one more time, which is, how does ROI for ads really work? And good, solid question, Laura. The thing that I've discovered so often is that most people, when they do talk about ROI for businesses, or they're recommending different types of ROI of any kind, right? They're oftentimes talking about this for someone in a different period of their business, right? Most people who are trying to figure out ads and figure out this type of traffic, you are still, whether you have a coaching program, a group program, retreats, you're selling courses, you're an expert or a thought leader of some kind, you're trying to get your information out into the world. If you don't have this under your belt yet, you are still figuring this stuff out. You are in a growth phase. And for me, these are very black and white. So the first phase is the growth phase, where you build up more skills, you tie it back into your business so marketing doesn't seem to be separate from your mission. Those things get realigned and you realize fully that marketing is always the first major piece of your mission, and you realign that. This is you growing to start to get consistent sales, consistent messaging, consistent traffic and marketing elements built back into your business. This is you starting to answer questions of, why am I doing this? How do I not be burnt out doing this? Before you can get to part 2. The second part is scaling. So you have part 1, growing, consistency, ease, regularity, revenue, expansion, growth, right? You build your team, you do this, you build your customer base, you do that. You have grown from 4 figures a month to 5 figures a month, maybe to 6 figures a month and multiple 6 figures, etc. That's all into that growth area. Scale is something totally different. So bear with me 1 second, because I'm going to tie this immediately back into your return. Scale is when most of these questions have been solved and answered. You have solutions, you have skills, you have understanding. You are using platforms and processes like I'm here with you. You've already gotten that under your belt, and you're partnering maybe more with people like me so you can understand this better. Then you get to scale. And scale is when you're gonna take what you have that works and really bring it to a totally next level. And you're gonna usually invest a lot more in your business to bring a lot more exposure, audience growth. And that then gives you a huge, much more amount of sales. So that's like going from 6 figures into multiple 6 figures quite quickly. Or like people say, it's harder to make your first $100,000 than it is to make $1 million. And when you're in it, you can realize, oh, it was easier to make that $1 million because I had to answer all the questions that got you to the $100,000. So I want to start there. Most people are trying to scale before they grow. There's no consistency, there's no regularity. They're not bringing in things and having solutions, but then they're trying to scale, and it doesn't work like that. You can't run a marathon before learning how to crawl and actually walk. And that's what people in business are often trying to do because other people tell them stories about how fast and easy it is as it is, and it really isn't. So let's come right back to your question, Laura. How does ROI for ads really work? What you normally hear is if you spend $1, you get $4 back. If you spend $1, you get $10 back. If you spend $1, you get $100 back. That's actually part two. That's scale. When you have grown and you have consistency and scale and you understand what you're doing and you have skills and maybe you've delegated and you spend more time figuring out how you want to scale, right? That's when you're actually in the zone of I put $1 into ads and I get $4 out. So think about this. If you've gotten so good at what you're doing that you consistently put $1 in and get $2 out, right? You're doubling your money. You're putting $1 in, you're getting $2 out. Well, I put $1 in, I get $1 back, and I break even, and I get the other dollar, 100% profit, right? Then it does make sense where you can say, okay, I do this on, let's say Facebook. I put $1 in, I get $2 back consistently. Super. I put $1 in and I improve processes and I get $4 back. You're really working and growing that business. And then let's say you're able to put in $1 and I'm going to be very generous and say you can get $10 back. Well, if that works on Facebook, let's do this everywhere. I want to put $1 into Facebook and get $10 out. I want to put $1 into YouTube and get $10 out. I want to put $1 into TikTok and get $10 out. That's 3 different channels: Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Effectively, altogether, you put $3 in total and you got 30 out. Do you see how that's now scaling something huge? But it is a process to put even in one channel that $1 in and get the 10 out. And that's really what we're talking about. So most people start the conversation about ROI. You should advertise. Oh, just advertise. It's so great. You put $1 in, you get $2 out. You improve a few things, you put $1 in, you get $4 out. That's a huge growth curve. That's a massive growth curve where you need to find out a lot of things about how these channels work with your audience, how you are going to use these channels, how your message works. Ads will support you in finding out all of these things, and you don't have to spend a lot to start out if you don't want to, but you can improve all of those things. But you are getting really savvy and sophisticated when you see that when you're growing and starting, you're not putting $1 in and immediately getting $10 out. That is misrepresentation. And oftentimes it is done with the very best of intentions. But what I work constantly with people in is helping them with true implementation on the ground. And I see all of these people coming in with these myths and misrepresentations, and they have to get recalibrated and see, oh, maybe it's not going to work like that. Well, if you can make it work consistently for you and your audience, and maybe you're even an outlier, I ain't gonna broke what ain't fixed, I'm not gonna fix, I can't even use bad grammar just to make a point because I actually like grammar and I learned decent grammar. So I'm getting it all backwards, right? But I ain't gonna fix what ain't broken for you, right? But most businesses, 95% of businesses won't even stumble upon that, right? There is a real growth curve and we will give you that. So you need to find out in your business, you need to start running some ads. You need to start putting $5 a day out just to start getting your basic data back. And then we got to tweak things so you can see how to put that $5 in and how fast you can get it back. And then you move into what I call the zone of profit. When you are breaking even, you're getting that back and you're in the profit zone. Oh, I got that back and I made another $5 and you doubled your money, right? Put 5 in, get 10 out, double your money. When you can do that consistently, and you can also ride the waves of daily variations, which happen everywhere in every channel, in every business, right? Then you're like, I'm getting somewhere. So this is actually how ROI really works. It is not when you're growing, put $1 in, get $10 out. That happens later when you scale. Initially, we want to walk you through a process along this customer journey where we show you all the different variables and all the different little equations that we want you to answer for yourself about your business so you understand. It's why my business is literally different from any other business I've come across for ads, because we dive into your marketing with you and we highlight where you should be advertising that you're not, because there's revenue coming back faster. That is a direct ROI opportunity. Many people, though, come to me in the first place and they're like, I've been told, somebody told them with good intentions again, I've been told I have to grow my list and build leads and do this and do that and make my Instagram followers X out to blah, 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 right? You have to fulfill all these things and you're not even sure why. But to do that, what they're saying is you got to invest a lot of money to grow your audience. But what if you haven't proven your offer and there's not immediate revenue coming back? That's also ROI. So we want to work with you to understand your business, understand your process, understand where lowest hanging fruit ads will bring the most money back to you. And if you have multiple offers in your business, they're all going to have a slightly different ROI. Then you're working on full cylinders, right? You're like the Orient Express and you're like, now we can get to France. Now we can make our way to Hungary. Now we can get to Turkey, right? And you are in a beautiful 5-star adventure, right? That's what we want for you. So if we're doing ads with you, we literally customize and walk through that with you, but we also can give you the process to walk through that and you can do it on your own. You don't need us to do your ads with you. And sometimes at this point, we even just do these marketing elements to give you all the marketing must-haves, like getting your numbers and your starting points so you can start to beat them. We even do that with people without doing their ads because it is going to improve all your advertising. I may have said it before, and I can't remember if I said it already today right here, which is great advertising is always the final step of great marketing. So you need to have the marketing must-haves. 7 proven 7-figure processes that all my best businesses use over and over, the marketing must-haves, because they directly impact your advertising and your ROI. It's not that it's all of that marketing in the world, but my God, these are the most important things that bring you money. So that's how ROI really works. And I want to make sure you never are falling for some possibly well-intentioned story of just put in $1, just get $1 back. Hey, if it works for you quickly, run with it. But most people need a little more support and help to figure those things out and to tweak things along the way. And then they start getting the results. It's a bit of a learning curve and then you move quickly. Part 2 is really fascinating though, which is there a better way than just spending money to make money? Yes, I'm here to tell you 100% there is a much better way than just spending money to make money, which is invest in things that help you get clarity and confidence and help you implement instead of just spending money. And that naturally will help you start to make money. Is that a bit of a cheeky thing to say? Did I just spin a couple things? Actually, no, I didn't spin anything. Spending is totally different in investing. Spending money in a slot machine or on a table in Vegas, gambling is spending money, but it's gambling. It is not investing in a house, a car, an investment property, stocks. Those are totally 2 different things. If you haven't heard this before, I'm a fully trained coach. It's how I entered this world. I coach people in business and plenty of other things all the time as part of this process. And distinctions are really important. So stop spending money if you're not sure what you're getting. Start investing to get clarity in the things that you know will bring you more revenue in return. And that's a massive, very clear black and white distinction. You can choose to start today. You're also reminding me, not so long ago, I was working with somebody who was part of a group. She got referred to me. She was part of a group and she was part of some large coaching program and it was really expensive. And she came to me because she had very clear plans, right? She wanted to start to sell her courses. She wanted to grow more of her list. She wanted to start getting return on the investment she was already making. She was ready to implement very clearly. And she said, oh, and so I explained, I said, here's what we can do. Here's how I'm going to help you to do that. Here's how blah, 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 blah. And after explaining all of this, I thought quite clearly, there's always room for improvement. I'm the first to say it. She kind of reiterated, so I have to make a decision if I rejoin this, and it's like $15,000 or something. What I was charging was nothing near that. And she's like, I don't know, I've gotten so much out of it so far, which she had, but maybe I should work with you for a while, but I need to figure this out. And I said, I've explained all of this to you very kindly. I kindly said that to her. I just walked you through what I could do. I also really have reiterated for you that you are ready to implement. And what you are telling me right now is what you're looking to do, that specific program did not help you with over this last year. But now you're ready to implement and focus on how all this works for you. And you're not getting coaching, and you're not getting your numbers, and you're not getting any support on real implementation. What it got her was other things. It got her great things. It got her a book deal. It got her recognition. It got her very big picture things, but it absolutely did not get her what she was looking for in terms of sales or sales processes or marketing structure. None of that. And I said, here's what it's given. So I'll just, make sure I confirm this. It has given you these big things, and you have plenty to be grateful for. But you're not telling me you want more of those big things. You already have them. Now you're telling me you're ready to implement. So do you want to just keep giving them money because it brought you some things before? Or are you ready to implement now? And she wasn't ready to implement. She wasn't. I was like, there's a bunch of steps, and we got to figure this out. And we're going to figure that out. But I will walk you through this and customize it to your business. She's like, I really just want to write books. And I'm like, that's great. If you just want to write books, that's great. But writing books will not sell your courses. Writing books will not let your audience get to know you better, and it will not help you get to know them better to see what they want. And her results stay at 0 in that world. Yes, she has a book deal. Yes, she has, and it's like a multi-book deal. Good, that's great. I'm not here to tell her what she should or shouldn't do, but I am saying, if she gives her $15,000 back to that and they don't help her with anything, that's just spending money. If she's ready to take more steps, that's a different investment. And as far as she was concerned, 100%. Staying there may not give her what she told me she wanted, implementation, but maybe to get her something else. And if she, she'll take what she can from that. She will get something from the investment. But I help people who want more course sales, who want more coaching packages sold, who want more retreats and group programs sold. I help people do that because there are more steps to it. And someone needs to provide clarity that I have discovered is so missing from those big programs that charge. I'm not charging $15,000, and I probably will at some point. I don't currently. I don't feel the need to. I don't need to spend that much time with someone to charge that. But I can still help them and move them forward and give them momentum for themselves. So I hope that's helpful, because there's a huge difference between spending money and investing money. All right, I'm not going to keep going out on a tangent. Laura, thank you for your question. Fantastic question. Hey, it's Josh here. Are you finally ready for advertising that works every single time? If so, then download the 3 T's of great advertising right now. We're going to give you our simple 3-step system that quite literally works every time for ads that do the job time and again. And as well, we're also going to give you the 7 marketing must-haves. These are the main principles so you can get the absolute most out of your investment in any type of Facebook and Instagram ads and beyond. Don't hesitate. Let's get started today and make this super simple. It's certainly not rocket science, and there's no smoke and mirrors. Download it today at www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started. One more time, that's www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started. And we'll see ya on the other side. Here's question 2. Let's keep this moving along. This is from Julia. Julia says, I'm going to take a quick break because a quick sip here. Julia says, what do you mean you can use ads to find out what your audience wants? How do you do that? I have my lead magnet and I have my course. I can't just keep making new stuff if that's what they want? Okay, so great question. And let's clarify, right? So I think there's a built-in maybe small misunderstanding there, and I totally get that. So let's clarify so that we can move past the misunderstanding. So again, I'm going to read this again so I can pull it apart effectively for you. Julie is saying, what do you mean you can use ads to find out what your audience wants? How do you do that? I have my lead magnet and I have my course. I can't just keep making new stuff if that's what they want. And when Julie, when you're saying if that's what they want, I'm going to hear that and interpret that as if that's what your audience wants. Okay. So there's a few big things. Let's see if I can pull these things apart in a good order and really effectively for you. So the first thing, let's start right at the end, which is spot on. Your audience wants something connected to the problem they have for which you have the solution. They have a problem, you have a solution. Their problem is that they want something. Your solution effectively, especially if you're saying you have a course, so I appreciate the details. You have a course and you have a lead magnet. I hear you. If you have a course, that course has to directly confirm for people that it is the solution to the problem they want solved. Now, I'm saying problem solution for anybody in different, I know this is going to be heard by people in many different niches, but some are very, very heavy problem niches. Can't get pregnant, can't get a boyfriend, can't X, Y, or Z. Other people's niches are not so problem heavy. They're like, I want to learn the guitar. I want to improve my golf game. I want to do that, right? There are things where, yes, there is still a problem there. You're not playing golf or guitar as well as you want to. It is a problem. It's what someone wants. And if you have the solution, that is what you're selling. It's still a better, I'm going to say it's an easier, more approachable problem to solve than female infertility, for example. Something that there's a lot to overcome. I had a client once who was solving issues with with women's menopause, right? There's a lot of issues to talk through because HRT and doctors and medical people are giving one set of recommendations and advice and guidance, and then maybe something this person was doing was going to do more, but they have to engage with all those other things. That maybe is not quite so intensive when you're learning how to improve your golf swing or improve your guitar, right? So I want to address all of that. What I'm saying here is for literally all of you, no matter where you are in that spectrum of really heavy to really much lighter by comparison. So you have the lead magnet, you have the course. You can't just keep making stuff. No, you can't, and no, you don't have to. So let's take a moment to kind of be like, oh, relief, right? You don't need to keep making new stuff and creating content and being on some, right, posting hamster wheel you can't get off of. It really, from my experience, is much more, which I may have said somewhere else, is it always comes back to the customer journey. Someone who's a total stranger comes into your world and they are introduced to you. Enter their customer journey for your business, your course in this case. You then get to connect all the dots for them to get to know, like, and trust you, and vice versa, until they choose to become a customer. This is a set of marketing skills, but it is essentially, when done well and effectively, not going to make you some crazy marketer. It is really extending your mission of what you deliver here all the way back lovingly from the very first person. You find more ideal clients. You disqualify people who you don't want to work with and who should not be working with you. You also start to connect the dots for them. But I also think about this kind of with the gardening metaphor, which is, if this is where people become a customer, it's where you get to pluck the fruit off of the tree. I actually was lucky enough when I was in high school to go do like a summer homestay with this lovely Italian family who were so just kind and lovely. And they had an orchard in the back of all these gorgeous fruits. They had fig trees and apricot trees and peach trees, and it was amazing. And every morning we'd be going out there and she'd be like, mangia la frutta. And I'd be eating so much fruit. And I'm like, oh my God, how much fruit can I take here? But that is a ripe tree where people want to pick the fruit. We want you to ripen your tree of abundance with your potential customers so you can pick them when they get here. But what is the first step to actually do that and get over here to a ripe apricot or fig? Fresh figs are my favorite all-time thing. It really is planting a seed. So here's what I'm going to say to you. You don't need you don't need 10 lead magnets. You don't need multiple courses. What is your course? The course that you are selling that makes them a customer, what is that? You have identified that. What solution does it solve? Great. There's probably multiple strands you can take and multiple solutions it provides that people want. Not necessarily what you think they need to know, that people want, right? And that is the seed that you start to plant here. You plant the seed when they are introduced to you, and you tell them you have the solution if you do, and you start to show them. And that little seed starts to germinate, and then it pops out, and two little leaves come, and then it grows and it gets taller, and then more leaves come and it grows and it grows and it becomes a bush, and then it becomes a tree, and then it's fruiting, right? That's what this is really about, right? You don't have to keep making new stuff unless you stumble upon, right, connecting dots for people and you're like, oh my God, everybody really keeps talking about this. They love this. I just started talking about that randomly, but they love this. You might make that your new lead magnet if you want to try that out, right? Nobody's holding a gun to your head saying you have to do X, Y, or Z. You got to see what works for your audience and your people. You do need to find that out. You have to find that out. That is not a variable. It is not a given. It is a given. It is a given. You have to find that out. So really you don't have to keep making new stuff. Relief. You do have to make sure you've planted the seed here of what you want to happen here. And if you can make lead magnets or even multiple smaller offers come to life here that start to give people wins, especially you have a solution, give them a little piece of that solution, give them a fast win, give them those things. This is stuff you will hear in different places, but it is proven best practice. Do not skip the best practice. That is so much of what I'm making sure you have is all the best practices. You have to plant that seed right here. So I want to come back to part one though, which is, let's see, I'm going to reiterate this one more time. What do you mean you can use ads to find out what your audience wants? How do you do that? One of the 3 T's to make ads that always work is testing. It's putting variations of content out there and not asking your private group and your coaching community and your best friend and your family, which do you like better? It's letting your potential future buyers directly say, we like this more and we're going to engage in that more. How do you know? Because you have results. More people are clicking through and engaging with that. More people are taking the final action when there is this piece of text or copy or that picture or video, right? This is variations. It is the testing process, and great advertising never happens without great testing, ever. So that's how you do it. You do it with testing. If you want to understand more, by all means, go to goldenringmarketing.com and get that 3T guide so you can understand this and start to do it a little more for yourself. That is what it takes. All right. So it's not rocket science. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not rocket science. You're going to be like, oh, right. So you've heard the term split testing or A/B testing. It is a more robust version of that where you can get faster results and faster answers. And that's how you do it. But you can do it with ads where you're already making some ad spend rather than wondering or guessing or surveying your list or this or that. Let the ads with the engagement and the results tell you what the people want. And then you're starting to act like a fully fledged, powerful, savvy business owner. Brilliant. All right, Julia, fantastic question. And finally, let's see how we're doing on time here. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up quickly. Alicia or Alicia. So whether you're Alicia or you're Alicia Silverstone style, I appreciate your question. I'm going to call you Alicia. Bear with me if it's not. Alicia says, I want to take out ads for a $47 workshop I'm doing. Is this something you do? And is this worth it? Great question, and great of you for asking. Is it something I do? And most importantly, is it worth it? So Alicia says, I want to take out ads for a $47 workshop. I'm going to interpret, now that's not language I ever use. I want to make sure I'm understanding clearly. When you say I want to take out ads, you want to take them out. You want to buy ads maybe, or you want to run some ads. You want to create ads. You want to pay for ads. So you want to take some ads out, right? And why would you be using the takeout language? Take out an ad. Take out an ad. Maybe it's take out an ad in like a newspaper or something. So good to know. I'm curious about that. If you would ever like to tell me why that tripped off your tongue, I'm very curious. But you want to run some ads and create some ads. I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to go back to what I was saying earlier. We never want you to take ads out. I never want you to just take some ads out, which ends up making you spend. I want you to consider what might be different for you if you consider this as you want to invest in some ads. You're going to invest in some ads. Now, as you say, you want to invest in some ads for a $47 workshop you're doing. Is this worth it? So if you're asking me, is it worth it? I'm going to make a guess here. So you're going to have to forgive me if I'm guessing wrong. I'm going to make a guess here to say that you don't have a skill set about how ads work. I'm also going to guess if you're considering trying out some ads, taking out some ads and trying out some ads, right? There's two paths here is really what I want to say. You have two paths. The kind of more common path, it's like the touristy path. Okay, I went to Thailand a bunch of years ago and I went to many places that are very well known. And that's kind of like the path that is most common, right? Most people end up on the path that's easy to see that everybody else goes down, and you end up on a path, and that is the path in this case where you're going to try some stuff out and it's just for $47 and you're just going to spend $100 or $47. And if it didn't work out, you're going to say ads don't work. That is the well-worn path that not enough people like me up till now have clarified. There's another path, and I want you to get on the path less traveled, the stronger path, the path where you're not going to go down the road to the same thing and get hawked by a bunch of people going, hey, mister, buy this. Hey, mister, buy this, right? Instead, I want you to go up the path that goes up the mountain that doesn't seem to be where many people are going, that gives you a view no other place on that island will give you. And it's much more extraordinary, and there aren't half as many people, and there's even what is considered the best bar up there. There you can have the best cocktail overlooking the best view, but most people are down having really bad cocktails or super cheap beer that isn't good at all where everyone else is going. That's what we're talking about here. So I'm going to invite you not to go down that path of not really knowing how it works, just trying stuff out, and then at the end of the day, you're like, oh, it didn't really work out. This is an investment. Learning how to do ads with strategy. Strategy is the only way ads actually work. Learning how to do ads with strategy will start to give you actually an investment where you get a return. I.e., that's going to be the only way I have ever seen where people get a return on their investment. Otherwise, you're just gambling in the club, right? You're just gambling in the casino. At the end of the day, you're going down a path that too many people have taken, and it isn't cute and it isn't pretty and it's freaking exhausting. But it's also just a bad experience, and there is another path. So I'm going to invite you to start here. Don't do your ads for the $47 workshop. You can totally do that later. Let's figure out your customer journey. Let's get you your base numbers. Let's figure out how you can start to get a return on your $47 offer. And then it's worth it. Then you've invested in something longer term. If you are putting money out, ads are one of the biggest expenses most people will ever make in their business. Exactly like buying a house for yourself is the biggest investment you will make in your personal life or as a civilian non-business person. Your investment in a house is far more probably than you have ever spent. I live in freaking California, and a basic little condo where I live starts at $500,000. Elsewhere in America, you can probably get some version of a McMansion. Not everywhere, but many places. Here, it's a basic condo, $500K. Goodness. It's more than anybody would spend in a day, in a week, usually in a year. It's usually the biggest single purchase. The same is true for ads. Why do you just want to see what happens without a plan and strategy to get it back? I want you to have a strategy. So the takeaway here is there is strategy required to make ads that work well. I myself will no longer ever take someone's money doing their ads for them to just give it a try. We are going to upgrade all your marketing, give you all the marketing must-haves that make return immediately possible. We are immediately going to make the lowest hanging fruit ads. And if you decide to not have us do it for you, we have a full course and a method for you to do this for yourself. But you have to learn some skills. It's not rocket science. It's not even painful, but you're going to learn some stuff. It is just like driving a car. I think I just said it's like buying a house. That's a process. Going through a mortgage process, that's a process. Learning how to drive a car, something more people do. You cannot put a teenager behind a car without showing them how to work it, or people get killed. If you have one drink too many, people get killed. It's the same with ads. And that's not me being dramatic. It's me knowing that most people in my own personal business, on average, waste $7,000 before they come to me to figure out how to make ads actually get a return. They waste $7,000. I don't want you to do that. I also, even more than that, don't want you to go down that path where it's like, ads can't work. I tried it out for a $47 product. I ran some ads, nothing came, nobody bought, they don't work. There is a process for it. There are steps and formulas and calculations we will walk you through, because you can't shortcut that. What you can shortcut is like you're 16 years old learning how to drive again, right? Learning how to drive is not a 7-year process. Learning how to drive is not a year-long process. Learning how to drive is you take a bunch of classes, you take a test, and you are learning, but at least you are safe. The same thing pertains here. If you want to invest your money and not cause havoc and kill your budget, right? You need to take a couple classes. It's not going to last forever. And you get to invest wisely and get the skill required to make an investment. And then you can go to town for your $47 offer workshop. And it is always going to be worth it. And I'm excited if I can help you, support you with that. But don't throw spaghetti against the wall. It's like driving a car. It's not like walking. It's not like hiking. It's not like hopping on a scooter. And it's not even like riding a bike. It's like driving a car. There's multiple moving pieces. You need to do it safely for yourself and for other people. But in this case, you don't want to just get there in your car. You want to give your audience an amazing journey so more people want to buy at the end of it. Everyone can do that if you give yourself and your audience the time to do that. So that's the perfect place to leave you on today. Thank you so much for joining me here inside of Marketing Therapist. I think we really helped a couple people on the couch today. I certainly hope so. If we helped you, let me know. I really want to answer your questions in a future episode. So if we stimulated any questions, if you'd like more clarity about anything I was talking about, if you have more things that came up, or you have totally separate questions you'd like answered, let me know wherever you're catching this. Spotify, your own podcast platform, maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's from my list, maybe it's from just being inside the website or organic social somewhere. Just let us know what your question is there. We'll see it and we'll find it, and I will be glad to answer your question live here in the pod, or maybe you'll come into my world and I can personally help you with your business. Thank you so much. Join us on any of those platforms I just told you about. Come to our website if you need more details, which is goldenringmarketing.com. I'm Josh Ubaldi, guiding you to give your audience the best customer adventure possible in a way that you feel great about, your audience feels great about, that brings you profit and makes you love your business even more than you thought possible. I'll see you next time.